So the new matching status is out for Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruise Lines, and Silversea. Those are the three that are participating. They are all part of that Royal Caribbean Limited umbrella. So emails started going out first thing this morning. If you're like me, I pressed refresh 100 times and I never got an email. Still don't have an email, but there is information out there. It is on the websites. They did post it to Facebook. It's on Twitter. They've got it posted everywhere now. So it is truly official. This is actually a groundbreaking announcement, I think, in the history of loyalty programs. I don't know of another loyalty program, whether it's a cruise line, airline, hotel chain, that offers us this level of matching within all of the brands that are within the corporate structure. So this is really cool. It's really innovative. And I say kudos to Royal Caribbean for giving this a shot. It is something we've been asking for ages, and they are giving it to us. So well done, Royal Caribbean. We'll talk about this at the end a little bit, though. Is this the start of more to come? So I'm going to walk you through the changes, what's going on here, and then we'll talk about some of my, what I like to call hypothesizing, my 2 cents on where do I think this is actually going to go long term. Now, before we jump into the changes, the first thing I'll say is they're calling this a status match. It is really a status reciprocal agreement. You don't have to match anything. When I hear the words match, I think of Virgin Voyages and MSC matching programs. So check out the videos. I'll link them later here on how you can see how to actually go through the process to status match with those cruise lines. However, for this status match, you don't actually have to do anything. They've made it super easy. As a matter of fact, I am already a Zenith member with Celebrity as of this morning. So as soon as those emails started going out, they flipped the script and it looks like we already have that status. So all you have to do is make sure that you have a Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor Society. You have your Captain's Club with Celebrity Cruise Lines, and Silversea has their Venetian Society. Make sure that in your profile, all three of those have the information of the other. So if you go into any of the websites accounts, whether it's Celebrity, Royal, or Silversea, you'll see your account, your profile, and it'll ask you to link the other programs, and it's gonna be automatic. And the thing is that, you're gonna continue earning points in the same way. So a lot of people were kind of bummed. They saw this as a merger of the programs, and that's not what they've done here. What they have done is simply giving people with status on this cruise line status on the other cruise line. And so you're gonna continue earning cruise line points or in loyalty status as you have always been doing. That is not shifting whatsoever. So if I'm cruising on Royal Caribbean, I am earning their Crown and Anchor points for every night that I cruise. If I am on Celebrity Cruises, I am earning their points based on the category of room that I book on Celebrity Cruise Lines. They're still all separated in that regard. They operate in individual silos, but you now get this neat reciprocal agreement. So if you go from, let's say, Diamond to Diamond Plus in the Royal Caribbean benefit, that's automatically going to update and move on all these other changes. So let's talk through what are the actual changes. Let me share that with you. Give you my share screen. We're going to bring up the actual document. That's going to tell us about all of it. So here is the official announcement that you can see on the screen. And let me come back, see best way to do this. Oh, it's on the screen. Here we go. So I'm going to be looking over here. So it's a match. So they've made this super easy. The first thing that I'll say is that, it's just moving me up a little bit. There we go. So I can come back on the screen. The first thing you'll notice is when you're looking at these tiers, some of these things have not changed. So the main places that have changed are going to be this area down here, people with the higher tier status. So in the legacy status matching program that they did, reciprocal agreement, if you had diamond status with Royal Caribbean, you automatically got elite. The thing that you would find is that elite never changed. You had elite and elite in the next two boxes down. So if you were Pinnacle, you were elite. This is the same if you looked at it the opposite way. So if I'm looking at Diamond for Crown and Anchor is what you status match into. So if you're elite with Captain's Club, you get Diamond. If you were Elite Plus with Captain's Club, you would get Diamond, and you'd get Diamond if you were Zenith. So it's really the two higher tiers that are truly impacted by all of these changes that are going on. So just so you know, you can see where you're going to status match. If you haven't already gone into your app, logged into the website, make sure again that your accounts are linked and see what your updated status is. but this should automatically tell you what it's doing. So let's see here. Let's talk about some of the restrictions. So while we've got this up, it is not as cut and dry as everybody wants it to be. So if I'm Pinnacle on Royal Caribbean, I will get Zenith, and I will automatically get the 500A on Venetian Society. Now, I'm going to assume that if you all are looking at this video, you probably know a thing or two about the amenities. So I'm not going to go through the individual benefits of the 3 different programs. So if you want that, the links are down below in the comment section, or in the description, I should say. That'll take you to all the benefits, and you can see what all of these different tiers are going to give you. But for this, we're going to skip over that, and I'm going to go down to the fine print. So I read this, so you didn't have to, because who wants to read fine print for fun? I might. So I read through all this. There's a lot of stuff in here that you really don't need to know. The programs, it says, stay separate. They wanted to make that very clear that these 3 programs have stayed separate. All they're doing is offering this reciprocal agreement that is going to be there. So you're good to go on that. An interesting thing that's been added on here before, or added on here, and I don't know that I've seen this before, is they can revoke your status. So if you have a status or a match and you violate some kind of a policy, there's fraudulent activity, you're somehow or another figured out a way to get points when you shouldn't have gotten points, they're going to kick you out of the program. I don't know why they would kick you out of the program and not just ban you completely from the cruise line. I know more people that have been banned from the cruise line that have lost status to the program. Let me know in the comments if you know somebody who's actually that's lost status in the program, if they were Pinnacle or Diamond or Zenith or what have you, and the cruise line pulled it back. I've not heard of that happening, but that is one of the options that they can do now. But coming further down, I'm going to take you to the interesting section, and that is section member level available benefits 2. Now, interestingly enough, they did not give us carte blanche status match. So the way that it's been, talked about is if you have this level status, you're automatically going to get this level status. What nobody is really talking about yet is you don't really get that level of status. You don't. They have created tiers within a tier, if you will. So what I mean by that is you're going to have people that have gone through, let's say, the Captain's Club with Celebrity. They've gone through the tiers and they have now earned Zenith because they have more than 3,000 points in the Captain's Club program. So they're going to get the full suite of Zenith benefits. Me, on the other hand, I'm sitting on like 135 points with the Captain's Club program and 1,600 and some with Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society. So my points on the Crown and Anchor Society will get me that Pinnacle status, will get me the Zenith tier. However, I'm not going to be treated as a full member of the Zenith program. There are things that I will not get that people that came up through the Captain's Club will get. Same thing with Royal Caribbean, same thing with the Venetian Society and Silverseas. So let's talk about what some of those exclusions are, because this is where the rubber meets the road on what are we really getting out of this situation. So if you look on the screen here, I've kind of got it right smack dab in the middle here. Hopefully that's big enough that you can see it. Let me make it a little bit bigger for everybody, because I know I have small eyes as well. So things that are going to be excluded. I think the first one makes a lot of sense. If you are not in the Royal Caribbean, and so this one is specifically about Crown and Anchor Society. They use some acronyms in here. CAS benefits are excluded to those who did not earn it. So if you're getting Pinnacle status because of the match from Celebrity or from Silversea, you're not going to get a free cruise because you're now a Pinnacle member. Logical, I think. I'm very comfortable with that. If you did not hit 700 points in their program, they should not be giving you a complimentary cruise. I think we can all agree upon that. The next one is you're not going to get your Diamond Plus and Pinnacle Club benefits, or amenities, I should say. Now, when Royal Caribbean talks about amenities, this is traditionally going to be a bottle of wine. Maybe it's chocolate-covered strawberries. It's going to be a bag that you can order, or a toiletry bag. Those are the amenities it's talking about here. So you're not going to get those if you do not have that level of status in Royal Caribbean's program. You'll get up to whatever you have. So if you've status matched, let's say, up to Pinnacle with Royal Caribbean, and you're only Diamond Plus, you'll be able to get the Diamond Plus amenities by your points. If you're a Pinnacle and you're a gold member by your actual points, you're not going to get any amenities actually. So that's really interesting to me that they've broken this out. I wonder if they'll still let you get the Diamond amenities. Maybe they will. But here it's saying you're not getting the Diamond Plus and Pinnacle, which I believe is just enhanced amenities. So more to come on that. It sounds like, now that I think about it, you will get your Diamond benefit, but you're not going to get the nicer bottle of wine that comes at the higher program points. One big one that I know a lot of people were looking forward to is the single supplement cruise fare. So in Royal Caribbean, solo cruisers out there, you know I love to take care of you. At 340 points in the Crown and Anchor Society, you're going to get a 150% solo cruise discount. If you have not hit 340 nights in their program, they're not giving this to you. That is probably the biggest benefit for us solo cruisers. And Royal Caribbean is going to exclude that from people from Celebrity and from the Silversea. I think that's a little bit of a shame. Again, just showing that they don't want solo cruisers going on cruises these days, but that one's a big hit. You're also going to see Cheers with an Officer. That onboard event is only going to be for those people that earned Pinnacle. It's not for those who matched in. You're going to have milestone recognition. So you're not getting crystal blocks except for when you actually hit the points in that program. So for Crown and Anchor Society, it's every 100, starts at 140, and then it's every 70 points. If you've not hit 140 points, you're not getting crystal blocks. Just because you have Pinnacle status, your true points are going to be based on how many nights you've spent with Royal Caribbean. So you're not going to get upgraded bathroom amenities. That's fine. I feel like those are really tough to come by these days anyway. You're not going to get a Pinnacle Club milestone kit. That's an interesting one, and I didn't even think about it. But there's an unboxing video that I did ages ago of my Pinnacle kit that you all can check out. I think that was one of the first videos I ever made, was the unboxing of the Pinnacle kit. You're not going to get one of those. Again, you didn't earn this, so kind of get it on that one. And your Chef's Choice amenity, you're also not going to get. You know, that's one that, what would it hurt if you got 4, you know, what do they call them? Petty fours? If you would have gotten 4 of those in your room, like what does it cost them? That's nothing. But they decided to back that out. So those are all the exclusions that you're not going to get from Crown and Anchor Society if you have not earned Diamond Plus or Pinnacle. Coming down, the Captain's Club also has similar exclusions that they are not going to offer people. And some of these make sense, some of them do not. So the first thing, you're not going to get those complimentary cruises. So if you have not hit 3,000 points in their program, you're not going to get a complimentary cruise. Again, totally get that one. You're not going to get a Zenith milestone kit. Again, I totally understand that one. WWF donations. I don't even really know what that is. It is a nonprofit that I guess one of their benefits is you can make a donation or they make a donation on your behalf. They're not doing that here, which I totally get. The bigger one for Celebrities Captain Club that, you know, I'm curious to learn more about here. Let me pull this up and get it to where you can see more of it on the screen, is that retreat lounge access when not staying in the retreat. So if you have not booked a retreat room and you have Zenith level, let's say, you normally will be given access into the retreat area. However, what we're seeing here is that is an exclusion. It is going to stay at the discretion of the ship that you're going to be sailing on to see whether or not you're going to be permitted into this area. I have a feeling that this is going to be based on points, but I am not anticipating that this will happen a lot. If anything, we're seeing them push more people out of the retreat and the suite areas. So I would say that I'd be really doubtful that we're going to have access to the retreat, but they did leave that into the discretion of the ship. Maybe like on my weekend sailings on the Celebrity Reflection, which doesn't have a retreat, maybe that's where I'll be able to get into because we don't normally get a lot of high-end Zenith members coming on the weekends. You're also going to have similar exemptions for Silversea. So if we take a look at their program, Silversea is an interesting one because everything's kind of already included if you're going on Silverseas. You're already paying $7,000 just to get on board the ship. So everything for the most part's included. So it's tough to exclude anything or even give any benefits in their program. But they're not going to give you a referral offer. They're not going to give you complimentary cruises. Again, makes sense. And you're not going to get a milestone recognition during the Venetian Society party. So just because you come in at their, they call it like the VS 200, you're not going to get recognized for just magically showing up and having that happen on your first cruise. So that is, what I'll say for the exclusions that you want to make sure you're paying attention to. And we'll talk about some more of my thoughts on these exclusions a little bit later coming up. So more of my thoughts here. So this is where we've now seen the changes, how they're doing it. Let's talk about what this is going to mean long term, and give you kind of my 2 cents on it. First of all, I think that this is a test and learn. I think that, they are saying, hey, we're going to make these changes. We're going to try something novel. We're going to be innovative once again, something that Royal Caribbean Limited loves to do. And they're going to make these changes. They're now going to be looking at what's the impact. They see, number one, revenue go up. Anytime they make changes, they're banking on revenue going up. They're also going to see if more of us, like myself, start cruising more with Royal and Celebrity now that I'm getting that enhanced benefit, because it kind of sweetens the deal for us to stay in the family. I've been begging for it for ages and kind of said, hey, look, I'm going to MSC and Virgin because they're giving me their top tier. I can't do that in Celebrity. And so I think they're going to see how many people like myself have kind of, I'm going to use this term lightly, aged out of Royal Caribbean, at least the larger ships, which is most of what I see these days, and want that more exclusive, less kid environment of Celebrity or Silverseas to see if we stay in the family more. They're also probably going to be saying, hey, is there going to be a lot more people overrunning the suite and the retreat? So you see that the retreat was one of the exclusions for Celebrity. With Royal Caribbean, the suite lounge was not mentioned, probably because the suite lounge already has a kicker on it that says, if there's too many people there, we're not going to let Pinnacle members into the suite lounge. Interestingly enough, that is based on your Crown and Anchor points. It is not based on your status. So if they maintain that, and that seems to be what they're going to do, if you have matched into Royal Caribbean's program and you're going on a sailing with a lot of Pinnacle members, chances of you getting in, if they look at the actual Pinnacle numbers, your Crown and Anchor nights, you're not going to make it in by any stretch of the imagination. That cutoff has been running around the 1,400 amount. So you might have a little ways to go before you make it into the suite section. But they're also going to be looking to see, is the Crown Lounge on Royal Caribbean going to be overrun? Is it going to take too many people? If I look over at Celebrity, is the happy hour going to have too many people added? Is it just going to be overwhelming because you now have all these different people that are going to have status? What's the impact of that going to be in the guest experience and on their revenue on what they need to offer? An interesting thing here, and I'll share the screen once again on this. If I come back to the screen share here and show you the way that they've grouped, let me zoom out. The way that they've grouped these is interesting to me. And so when I'm looking at this, I see that the Platinum and Emerald have been grouped together. So Royal Caribbean has one extra tier that the others do not. And so by seeing this match up, it's almost like they're setting the stage to find a way to consolidate these two tiers. So I would not be surprised. And I've even hypothesized before that, look, at these bottom tiers, something's got to go. Like, this does not make sense to have tiers this early on. And if I had to guess, this is a good indicator that the Platinum status and the Emerald status will at some point be combined, because nobody else has that many tiers. And a loyalty program that they're going to be administering needs to have less tiers to keep the cost down and the administration down. Especially now with all this reciprocal, they're going to have to make sure that it is as streamlined as it can be for their systems to be able to keep up with it and everybody to know what's going on when it comes to what level you're actually going to be at. But I think, in looking at this, it does open the door for them to say, should we combine the programs? It is one step in that direction. By offering this reciprocal agreement, they are making a step to, number one, potentially merge the Platinum and Emerald status with Crown and Anchor Society. But number two, they've now said, here's all the equal statuses between the three cruise lines. And there's, not much stopping them from continuing to be innovative and say, you know what? Why don't we completely merge these programs and say Royal Caribbean Limited, the umbrella company, has one program that you earn points in. I've talked about building an ecosystem in the past where you need to use the credit cards. You need to book hotels through them. You need to go shopping in their portal. You need to book on their ships and spend money. The casinos have even been rumored to be merging. So I think that there's a lot of merging that might drive revenue for these folks. I know that if they did that and my cruises on Celebrity counted, I'd want to probably sell on them more. So I would not be surprised down the road. I don't think that that's anything that's going to happen soon. Again, they're in the test and learn phase. They just rolled this out. I think that they're setting the stage for it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think that they're certainly setting the stage for what could happen. So the strategy. So if you're looking at this and you're new to it and you're saying, well, Brandon, like, what do I need to do about this? I would say a lot of people in the past used to make it to the diamond level because that's where you saw the benefits merge and come together. There was no benefit to do that after the fact. If you still want to chase status, I think you still can. But now I think it makes a lot more sense to sell number one on Royal Caribbean and to get the Diamond Plus status with the Crown and Anchor Society because it is cheaper. You can get that based on your internal nights, and the solos people get 2 points per. The Captain's Club solos, or excuse me, the Crown and Anchor Society also is the only one that offers the 340 night 150% single supplement reduction for solo cruisers. Celebrity and Silversea do not have those. So I think going forward, if you want to have a strategy here, get to at least Diamond Plus within the Captain's Club. That'll be the cheapest one that you can get to. If you're already almost there in, the Captain's Club or maybe the Venetian Society, sure, stick with that if you want to. But I think once you hit either Diamond Plus or you're hitting Elite Plus, that's when you're probably going to want to start bouncing around a little bit more because making it to that next tier of Pinnacle, Zenith is going to be such a leap that it's not going to make a big difference if you don't stick with the cruise line after that point and just go and enjoy the plus status with the other lines. But at the end of the day, I think that, this is a huge win for us. I think for us cruisers that love going on Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silversea, this is a huge win. It's something we've been asking for. We've seen it all the time. The biggest complaint that I'm hearing here, because, of course, we can't have anything good, is people from Royal Caribbean saying they don't want the happy hour. They want their vouchers. Totally get it. But what I will tell you is try to keep a little bit of gratefulness that they've still given us this win. By telling them that, hey, we want to get the vouchers, we need even more, I think we push the envelope on them making even more changes. So we'll see I would love for Celebrity to go to the voucher program. I like it better than a happy hour because a happy hour has a limited menu and it's unlimited drinks. So good news, can you drink more than 4 or 5 drinks at a happy hour? Absolutely. I used to do it 10 years ago all the time. It's easy to do when you show up on time and you leave a little bit after. You can do it. But, you're not able to go get a coffee or get a morning mimosa and doing all those kinds of things. That you still miss out on. But I think overall, this is a huge win. Like, I'm still grateful that they're now giving me Zenith status on Celebrity and 500 VS days on the Venetian Society, though it's going to be a long time before I have enough money to go on the Venetian Society. So again, they're going to test and learn. They're going to check this out. Let's be grateful that this has happened. Are more changes coming? Probably. I talked about some of the things that I think are going to be coming through here. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens down the road. But what they're probably going to do is, let this sink in for a little bit, see how it does. And then, 6 months, a year from now, we might see some more changes start to rack up on what this is going to look like.